Connor scored 2 touchdowns in the win at Michigan as Michigan State prepares now to take on Iowa this Saturday in Iowa City. We'll take questions in the chat. We have about 10 minutes available for Connor, and we'll get those started now for those that have questions. We'll start with Rico Cooney with Spartan Magazine. Rico?
Hey, Connor, how you doing, man?
Good. How about yourself?
Good, I'm good. Hey, talk a little bit about your journey coming back to Michigan State, and I guess what you wanted to change, what you wanted to have happen different. We've heard stories about you taking the leadership piece up a notch. Talk a little bit about that and how important that was in coming back to the fold at Michigan State.
Yeah, my journey was very unique. I feel like not a lot of kids get the opportunity to, leave and then get the opportunity to come back. And I'm just blessed. And I feel like I'll forever be blessed for the opportunity that Coach Tucker and, everybody else has given me. And, just my teammates opening with open arms. And I feel like coming back, I had to prove a lot to myself, not just my teammates. I had to look myself in the mirror. And they didn't look at me any different. I kept a really good relationship with a lot of the guys on the team. And the coaches, they just said that, just be yourself. And I felt like I was myself. But the leadership part, I'm one of the oldest guys in the room. And I know the younger guys look up to me. And I've always been a lead by example type of guy. But I felt like as of this year, I could be a little more vocal, even with me leaving and whatnot. But I just felt like I kind of came back, and I don't want to say earned because nothing's, set in stone. But every day I'm just trying to earn respect from everybody on the team, not just the running back group.
Just a little bit of a follow-up on that. You said you had to look in the mirror and find out some things about yourself. What were those things?
My attitude, how I look at things, and making the most of my opportunities whenever I'm out there, whether that's third down, first, second, just playing one play at a time. And each play, kind of has the life of its own. So just evaluating everything differently than I would in the past, and not being so narrow-minded, just always being, a guy that always looks at the big picture and puts the team first. I feel like I always put the team first, but I feel like I'm more of a guy like that now.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Matt Charbonneau with the Detroit News.
Hey, Connor, I was wondering if you had if in the last day or so you've had a chance to reflect on it being a little more than a year ago that you made the decision to step away, and then a year later to see where you're at, score twice. I mean, you essentially score the winning touchdown. You recover the onside kick. Just that journey and to see what it led to. Have you had a second to appreciate where you were at Saturday and the impact you were able to have on the game and this program?
Yeah, after the game, I was just excited to be, back with my teammates. Obviously, it felt good to get the win, but, it's a new week, and Coach Tuck talked about the 24-hour rule, and after those 24 hours, it's on to the next opponent. But it felt good to be back out there, but I feel like none of us are happy where we are. Obviously, it's a great win, but I feel like it's just a start and just needs to keep on building up from here.
How important is that, too? I know a lot of guys have talked about it already, but not having that letdown, I guess. I mean, this program has been pretty good over the years of kind of not letting one game lead to the next. But as an experienced guy, what are you telling those young guys this week about kind of putting that thing behind you?
Iowa's a great football team. They're a team that's very disciplined. And so we have to be we have to be sharp on all sides of the ball, offense, defense, special teams. They're going to be where they need to be, and we have to be where we need to be. So, don't get too high, don't get too low. Obviously, we just had a super high moment, great victory, but you got to move on to the next and make our adjustments from last game, and our corrections. But it's just about the next game because you're judged on your last game. Rutgers game, we didn't play so hot. I don't think I played that great personally, and we were getting bashed and stuff like that. But this game, everybody loves us. You got to be able to tune everybody out and just go to the next game and lock in and do what you do.
Thanks, Connor.
Next question is from Matt Wenzel with M Live.
Hey, Connor, we talked with William Piegler before the season. He said, the goal was to play 3 or 4 running backs a game, and that's kind of been basically what you guys have been doing. I guess, what's your view of backfield rotation, how guys have been used, and your role in the group?
I feel like we all bring different things to the table. I can honestly feel like and say that we have – I'm in the running back room right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8 of us. I'm in here by myself, but there's 7 to 8 of us that can legit go out there and play. Obviously, there's freshmen. Jordan's one of the freshmen that plays. But everybody has the ability. And Coach always talks about you have to earn it every day in practice. And he's very detail-oriented, so you have to be on top of your stuff, coming here, getting extra film. But every running back in here can go out there and compete on Saturday. And whenever your number called, just be ready.
And talking about that earning it in practice thing, you've got the start each of the first 2 weeks. I'm not sure if you envisioned, obviously probably wouldn't have envisioned that a year ago at this time, but what have you done to earn the job and get the trust of the staff to be the first guy out there?
I don't feel like I've earned anything yet. Nothing's promised. It's just going out there, and I don't really try to let that get to me, because regardless if you start or not, what matters most is when you're out there, when the game's on the line, fourth quarter, stuff like that. So I don't really let the starting thing get to me, because that stuff doesn't really matter. You can be productive without the starting title, but ultimately the thing that matters most is just winning at this point in my career.
Thanks, Connor.
Next question is from Kyle Austin with M Live.
Hey, Connor, a little bit of a non-football question, if that's okay. Just with Election Day tomorrow, I'm wondering how much of an emphasis on voter registration and voting did you kind of feel from the staff and from your coaches this offseason, and how important was that to the players in the room?
Yeah, not just this year, but voting's always been something that's very important, and I feel like a lot of people should do, because just the past with everything, with not everybody always having the rights to vote for a long time, but I feel like people are starting to see the importance of voting. Coach Tucker and the other guys on the staff have echoed the importance of voting, regardless who you vote for. This is an opportunity that not everybody gets, and you should definitely take the full advantage of it. But we can't. Obviously, that's a very important thing, but we have an important game coming up. So we had walkthroughs yesterday and stuff like that, corrections. But today we're gonna hit the ground running, and carry over for the rest of the week. It's not like we're missing a day of practice or anything, because we got it in yesterday. But voting is very important, and it's something that you can't take for granted. And we'll see whatever happens this week, I guess.
Our next question is from Lindsey Huddleston.
Thank you. Hi, Connor. Last time we talked about the influence of family, particularly your mother and her wisdom. What was the celebration like with family this weekend after you having the play you had? And is anything that really just stood out to you with that?
That means when you work.
Yeah, my brothers and my family, they all kind of just shot me over text and stuff like that before the game and stuff like that. My brother Cameron asked me if I was ready, and we talk, but we're both so busy every week. So when we talk, it's kind of, I love you, good luck, how are you doing? You feeling good, stuff like that. But he texted me, he's like, you ready to go? Him going to Ohio State, he hates Michigan, so he really wanted us to get this win. And then my brother Corey, me and him are more in contact, probably because he's not as busy as Cameron. But my mom, she's always on top of everything. She's like hardballs. We beat both the hardballs this week. But my whole family was happy. Everybody was supportive. My friend's family, I got a lot of texts. But it was a big time win, and my family is very important to me, and some of my close friends. But I don't really let all that get to me. I hit them back, tell them that I appreciate them and how much they mean to me. But it's a new opponent each week, and you're judged on that.
Yeah, really quickly, I know you're moving forward and moving on, but was the success you had this weekend, was there a weight lifted for you personally?
Honestly, no. I know people. I have people in my DMs. I have people bashing me. I have all this stuff. Sometimes I just delete Twitter, Instagram off my phone because it's not always good. Social media is cool and all, but sometimes it actually affects your mental health. So I delete it. People are going to say what they want to say, but those people that were in my DMs and all that. When you make a play, they're not going to be in your DMs and talking, and it's kind of funny to me because it's just wishy washy. But it's funny, but people are going to be fans and have their own opinions, but you can't let that get to you. Obviously, you see it, but can't let that affect you.
Great job with that. Thank you.
We have time for 3 more. We'll start with Chris Solar from the Detroit Free Press. Chris?
Hey, Connor, I kind of wanted to see exactly with your role right now, because Coach Tucker talked a lot about that on Saturday, just how you've embraced the role. How much of it is blocking and how much of it is just maximizing your versatility at the moment?
Honestly, I feel like everybody has a certain role, not just the running back position. The game of football, you want to play as many guys as you want possible, and our coaches have emphasized that. So whatever your role is, just going out there and doing it to the best of your ability. And I feel like my role can be a lot of things. So whenever I'm out there, regardless if I'm running the ball, catching, or pass blocking, just doing it to the best of my ability, because I feel like whenever you're on the field, that's your role at that particular time. So I was out there, I feel like a little bit more on third downs and stuff like that, just because I feel like I understand the pass blocking stuff, our protections, and just how Michigan was kind of doing stuff. And I really keyed in, and our offensive line keyed in. And, I feel like we all communicated from the front end to the back end, made our adjustments. And, I don't think there were any sacks for Rocky all game. And Rocky threw the ball well. I feel like Rocky kind of likes checking down to me in crucial times because he knows that I'll be where he wants me to be. And, we have a good just feel for each other. And, whether the linebackers are sitting or if they're playing man versus me. And, Rocky doesn't care who's getting the ball. Whoever's in the game, he's going to get into him. And I don't think – we were talking about it the other day. The running backs were – me and Coach Piegler, how you will never see a quarterback on a naked play, chuck it deep on a go route 2 times in a game. But, Rocky, he's going to take some chances. And, sometimes they work. And this week, I feel like Ricky made some good plays on that one naked, and then Speedy almost caught that one deep ball right after that.
Coach Johnson also talked about not using personnel groups to keep teams off balance. Does the ability to run the ball for a running back to be in there and make those plays in the pass game, but also be used in the run game, how much does that maximize your effectiveness in both?
I feel like
that they can't key on you for one, I guess, is kind of the thing.
Yeah, obviously you don't want to have one particular player just out there every time you're throwing the ball, because teams can just start dropping and sending different blitzes just depending on what you're trying to do. But yeah, Coach Tucker talked about how Coach Johnson, we weren't running the ball very effective. Jordan had, I think, like a 28-yard run, explosive play. But besides that, we talked about how it was going to be a dirty game. Michigan's front 7, their boxes, a lot of NFL guys there. And we talked about it was going to be a dirty game, but when you hit it, you got to hit it. And we had 2, 3, 4 yards, stuff like that. Sometimes we're getting hit in the backfield, but, it's a part of the game. But, Coach Tucker, like I was saying earlier, Coach Tucker congratulated us on the win, but also talked about how well Coach Johnson, kept the game very evened out, with us throwing the ball and passing the ball, or throwing the ball and running the ball, because you can't just turn the game into 7-on-7. You got to still run the ball and, be very balanced.
We have time for 2 more. We'll go to Nick Mantis with WLNS.
Hey, Connor, you were saying that you haven't felt like you've received or been given that number one rule yet, and there's things that you want to do when it comes to not just winning, but also in improving. What specifically are you hoping to improve from week to week as you get better and throughout the season?
Just personally, just whatever our game plan is. So this week against Iowa, I'm not going to go into our game plan about them, obviously, but for a running back and for myself personally, I just feel like I need to run the ball a little better. And I feel like that could go for all of us in the room. We all want to hit the big ones, but sometimes you got to be okay with, hitting those 3 and 4 yard, 5 runs, and the big ones eventually come. And, we preach in the room how those 2, 3, 4 yard, 5 yard runs come the fourth quarter, the teams will start getting tired, and hopefully those will start breaking. But hopefully we can start seeing that very soon.
Thank you.
The last question goes to Jim Comparoni with Spartan Magazine.
Hey, Connor, thanks for taking time out with us today. We really appreciate it. All 3 touchdowns were scored by Georgia players on Saturday. And you've got 2 starters from Georgia on defense, also Trey Person, Shaq Brown. Have you guys started to talk about this? Is this becoming a little bit of a thing for you guys? And what does that mean something for the future? Have you guys noticed this? You probably have.
You forgot about my boy Chris Jackson.
Christian Jackson, my bad.
Yeah, and James Ahamba's from Georgia. There's actually a good amount of Georgia kids. When I first got here, there was Dylan Alexander. There wasn't as many guys from Georgia. There was a good bit, and then obviously you guys know Darquez Denard and certain guys from Georgia that have been up here and been impactful. But yeah, we always do it, and kids are kind of getting annoyed with it. But we'll be in the locker room or in the weight room. Lil Baby will come on, Gunna, because those rappers are from Georgia. And we're like, these are just Georgia boys. This is what we do. Everybody wants to be like us, and we'll joke around with it. But yeah, hopefully we can keep this pipeline going. I see they're recruiting a lot of kids from Georgia. I personally think best football is from Georgia. We always argue about that too. Jordan Reed being from Cass Tech, he thinks that Gerb that they could beat us in high school, but still to this day, I don't think that will happen. But Michigan has some good high school players. A lot of them are teammates, but I don't know. It's just something about Georgia. But Ricky had a really big game. Like, he surprised a lot of us. He didn't really surprise a lot of us because we've seen him do it in practice, but on that stage, you don't see a lot of freshmen do that. And I told him how proud I was of him.
All right, one other thing I just want you to clarify. You said earlier that you guys were anticipating that it was going to be a dirty game. Do you mean like the clearness of the running lanes for running backs? Is that what you meant by that?
Yeah, not penalties or anything like that. Just McQuitty, Chris Hinton, Carlos Kemp, Aiden Hutchinson. I think those are all their starters on the D line, and those are some guys that will be playing football for a while. So we knew that those are some really good defensive line players. Our offensive line is good, but sometimes you have to give props to the defense, regardless if it's your rivals or not, and you just have to be honest with yourselves. And we just knew that it was going to be a physical game, and the most physical team was going to win.
And you mean dirty, like vision-wise for running backs? It was going to be like a forest, like it wasn't going to be real clear every game, every play. I mean, I was just trying to make sure.
Yeah, like Iowa, they're another physical team. I feel like our offensive line, they were getting hat behind hat, and they were driving guys off the ball, but it's hard to do that every play. And as a running back, you just got to hit it, and sometimes it's going to be those dirty yards. The dirty yards is you got to run through contact and, just fall forward for those 3 extra yards when you can.
Got you. Thank you for clarifying. Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Connor, well, we really appreciate you taking the time today. Congratulations once again on the win over Michigan, and we'll see you Saturday in Iowa City.
Thank you.
Thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Connor.
All right, that's everybody for today. Tried to line up Coach Hawkins, but he's a little busy. So, but hopefully we got some good stuff today. And Coach Tucker will be on at noon tomorrow, and that will wrap up availability for the week. So we'll see everybody tomorrow at noon with Coach Tucker. Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.